Yeah, another super chat, another ruined stream. Uh, I mean, I guess it's my fault. I'm the one that wants to keep the streams going and staying on the site rather than removing them. But, what can you do? What can you do? Well, see, this is the reason I decided to shut down my Discord server. Because Discord told me to start censoring things. It's like, there's hate speech on your server, remove it. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what is hate speech and what isn't. Right? And it's like, if I start removing people for posting South Park memes, they will say, like, why are you so uppity? Why are you like that? And it's like, it's not my platform. I don't make the rules. If it was up to me, you could post anything you want. Thank you, JV. I appreciate it. I'm not upset. But yeah, so was Christmas offensive? This is something that I notice happening again and again. And by what I'm saying is that every single time you get in the media and with politicians a tiresome circle, every year the cycle repeats itself. The cycle is like this. During Thanksgiving, you're going to get articles about why Thanksgiving is racist and why Thanksgiving is problematic, and most importantly, how you should be able to stomach family members who disagree with you at Thanksgiving, right? So those are the articles. Then you get the Columbus is racist during Columbus Day. Then you get during Halloween, you get articles suggesting what costumes you shouldn't use, and what costumes are racist even for pets. And during Christmas, you get this bullshit every single year. To be honest, like, I wonder if they make like 5 or 6 articles and they just save them for next year, and then they like publish the next one so that they do less of an effort. But it's so tiresome. So, like for example, Christmas is offensive for minorities. Well, do you guys get offended because of Passover? No, seriously, like, do you get offended because of... No, probably don't give a shit. You probably don't know what date it is. The only thing I know is like, twaddle, 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 I spin you every day. But seriously, no, like, do people get offended over Passover? Do you get offended over, I don't know, like, do you even know what Hindi people celebrate? And do you get offended? No, probably not. So here you have, apparently civil servants have blocked the word Christmas from an effort to avert a winter COVID crisis as they fear it would offend minority religions. So notice how it's not the minority religions that are offended by this. Surprise fucking surprise. It's the moral busybodies. It's the actual rulers of the United Kingdom, the civil servants. You should watch Yes Minister. It's a great comedy. And it actually shows the power of civil servants. So the ban, apparently, was revealed as Boris Johnson announced tighter travel restriction and new rules on masks in a bid to limit the spread of the new Omicron variant. Ministers had also planned public blitz telling students to get tested before returning to their families, using the slogan, "Don't take COVID home before Christmas." But it was vetoed because, of course, it can offend minorities. And yes, the ban is ridiculous. But you know what else is ridiculous? Apparently, if you say that there is a war on Christmas. Now, obviously, there's not an active war on Christmas. Like, people can't take Christmas away, and they're not even planning to. Because it's profitable. It's that one holiday where stores make fuckloads of money. Why would they want to take Christmas away? No, what they want to do is to subvert it. That's what they want to do. And they want it, like... Because it's a celebration that's not a leftist celebration. That's what it is. Like, leftist is cultural imperialistic. If something is not left-leaning, it has to be subverted or just removed. Last night, the Prime Minister threw winter travel plans into chaos by announcing that every traveler arriving in the country must self-isolate until they can produce a negative PCR test, and that anybody who comes into contact with someone infected Just hold on. I need to close Skype. Why? I did not get a single Skype message today, and now people want to become famous, want to become chatterboxes. Wait a second. Jesus. All right, here we go. I very much hope that we will find to continue to be in a strong position and we can lift these measures again. But right now, this is the responsible course of action to slow down the seeding and the spread of this new variant. Oh my God, I have seen this movie before. I don't remember where I've seen it before. It's like, but I have a deja vu. A deja vu. Deja vu. What was it? Anyway. Yeah, deja vu, I've been here before. The Downing Street announcement came after 2 people in the UK were found to be infected. By the way, I don't know what the future brings, but I know what will happen during next Christmas. Mask up, be careful, PCR test, family member, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I have a feeling. I have a feeling that I can peer into the future. I can see through the veil of time. It is understood that one of these infected was doubly vaccinated, blah, blah, blah. Don't take COVID, quadruple. All right, fine. So the government campaign is to be inclusive, and some religions don't celebrate Christmas. Oh, my God. The other option was, but you know, here's a kicker. Atheists. You know, they don't. If I'm curious though, okay, about this mental retardation. If you go to Israel and the person tells you on the street like Happy Hanukkah, are you going to be a dick about it? Like, are you going to feel, oh my God, I'm not being included? You know, like if you go to Israel and the government says, oh, Happy Hanukkah, everyone, or be careful this Hanukkah, don't take. You know, the make sure you're testing yourself before you're viewing. Do you feel like you're literally that mentally deficient and you don't understand what the government is trying to do, and you're like, hold on a little bit, I don't celebrate Hanukkah, I don't feel included. Mr. Johnson said that the measures will be reviewed in 3 weeks. New mask rules. We're not going to stop people traveling. I want to stress that. Yeah, by the way, didn't they say that last time? It's like, oh, we're not going to stop people traveling, and after 2 weeks, okay, we need to have a travel ban. I don't believe you. I don't believe you, Johnson. I don't believe you anymore. I've seen this movie before. Seen it happen. Christmas as a holiday is commercialized as has St. Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, and Easter. Corporate holiday, toys, chocolates, and alcohol. The thing that I don't like, to be honest, about these celebrations, and it's not just Christmas, it's New Year's as well and others. The thing that I don't like is that it's that particular day where you have to celebrate, right? Like, it's maybe I don't feel like celebrating on New Year's, you know, maybe I just not in the mood, but no, you have to go. I will give you this, all right? I'll tell you the best thing about Christmas and Thanksgiving. And I don't know if people have this, but sometimes it's difficult to get family members together. You know, sometimes it's very difficult to get all the family under one roof and just spend time with the family. So Thanksgiving and Christmas are great opportunities in order to get people to spend time together. And yes, it is commercialized. Yes, I get it. You know, it is what it is. But at least it helps people connect. And I don't think that can be a bad thing. Now, talking about the other one, St. Valentine's, it's a great opportunity to get dates before Valentine's. And I'll tell you, like, after you get a girlfriend and you celebrate the 4th Valentine, the 5th becomes a little bit more cheaper. Like, it's not as expensive as it used to be. I remember when I was more younger and I didn't have money. Yeah, it was the triangle of horror. It was 1st March, where, according to Romanian spring tradition, you have to bring nice things to girls. Then it was 8th of March, which was Women's Day, so you have to bring flower to girls. And then it was Valentine's. So like the triangle of horror, that would rape my wallet. But, you know, like, it's fine. It's fine. I get it. It's a commercial thing. But at the end of the day, A holiday is a holiday. I'm not upset about it. Let's see what Mentat gave me. I hope you're not making me click on other things, Mentat. Video games were already turning to shit in 2006 with Oblivion. The video gaming press used to be pretty good in the 90s. Now, I disagree. There's plenty great games that came after 2006. Oh, Sarah, this is a great opportunity. Yes, the great opportunity. This is the thing that I don't get. Right? You have the World Economic Forum. When, businesses are closing down, human rights are being pissed on, and you have the Economic Forum. Oh, this is a great opportunity. The window is shrinking. And I think I remember Destiny, right? And he was saying, it's like, oh, what's wrong with it? It's like, yeah, like if you can do something after a crisis, why shouldn't you do it? And I'm thinking, look, Destiny, right? I wish I could have talked to him, but I was like, look, let's say I want to buy my neighbor's land. Because it's a good land, it's got great value. Maybe I want to build something on it, and I want to buy my neighbor's land. And unfortunately, my neighbor doesn't want to sell. Okay? So one day, I look out my window, and I see my neighbor's house burning. Now, I'm not the one that set the fire, but it's burning, right? Imagine if I were to say, oh, what a great opportunity, because now he's going to sell. Wouldn't I be a piece of shit? Wouldn't I be an asshole? And I sit there instead of actually going and bringing a bucket of water and pulling it out. I'm just sitting there. I would be a bit of an asshole, wouldn't I? Like, people would look at me and were like, V, you're a piece of shit. Yeah, it is a numbers game. It's not that there's not enough people to stop it. It's just that there's too many people that wanted to. Like, here's the thing. Let's look at human rights, okay? Freedom of religion. The churches in many places were shut down during the pandemic, but the bars were open. How the fuck does that make sense? Because the bars aren't in a constitutional amendment that they have to be open. The churches do, right? So the churches are closed, but the bars are open. Please tell me, how the fuck does that make sense? The answer, it doesn't. I mean, there were just so many violations, like the idea that the government can shut down a business and decide which business is essential and which one isn't, is something that just doesn't sit right to me up till this day. But it is what it is, like there's nothing you can do about it. And there's, of course, that very famous case where a restaurant is closed, but literally next door, Hollywood is filming a movie. Right? So Hollywood is essential. Yes, of course. But not only that, you look at cable channels, at news networks, and, they say that the news is essential. I'm like, not really. I mean, you can have a society without the news, but okay, like the news is essential. But why is comedy essential? Why couldn't, like restaurants are operating at a third capacity? Why couldn't the news networks operate at a third capacity? Just the news. So no more comedy. Like, what the fuck are you laughing at? It's a pandemic. Why is he laughing at? Why is Colbert there? The fuck do we need comedians? It's a pandemic. Like, people are sad. Why do we need Colbert to tell us jokes? Fuck off. But that's the problem, right? Because people weren't consistent. People didn't demand. It's like, okay, like even the people that were, we need safety. It's like, okay, you need safety, but why don't you demand safety? Like, demand the safety all the way. Like, all the way to the top. Like, CNN, yeah. Why aren't they keeping people safe? Why aren't they operating with a third capacity like the restaurants are? Thank you, Spider Fox. I appreciate that. Because the propaganda is essential. Yeah, but like what I'm telling you is the fact that I don't understand why people weren't the ones that were like the people who were for safety weren't the ones demanding that. CNN and MSNBC and all the others, that they should also operate at a third capacity as a show of solidarity, of course. Because at the end of the day, that's what's important. Show the people that you understand that it's a problem and you need to show solidarity. No, instead, of course, they have record ratings during that time. I think, like, even they admitted that COVID was very good for ratings. I finished playing Resident Evil, Billy. I played Resident Evil 3 for you. What do you keep wanting me to do, Billy? At least I know. And by the way, Billy, when are you going to invite me over to shoot some guns with you? Oh yeah, the safety dance. That was like really great. Safety dance. Pam, 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 pam. Oh my God, like that is something that's going to remain etched into my brain. By the way, here's something interesting. There's a chart, and it shows the number of rapes per 100,000 people. And we got Romania at a shameful number of 7.5. We got Hungary at 6. And then you look at other places like France. Vive la France. Oh. Jesus fucking Christ. UK. Holy shit. This is from Eurostat, right? Inside 2017. Look at, is this Sweden? I think this is Sweden. I don't know the Nordic countries. I know one is Norway, one is Sweden, and one is Finland, but I don't know which. Shut the fuck up. Why do I need to know? Now, what's interesting is that the explanation that they have, this is my favorite explanation, is that women in Eastern Europe don't report rapes. It's like, what a convenient explanation. So women in Eastern Europe aren't sophisticated enough to know how to file a police report. Is that it? I love how they don't know, but they just pull that out of their ass. How do you know? So yeah, like these women aren't sophisticated, but these women are more smart than they report it. It's like, okay, so if women report it here, why is the number so high still? Why aren't you doing something about it? Fuck is wrong with you? The long penis is Sweden, I see. Look, Billy Odell is bringing the full semi-automatics. Man, you sound so exhausted. Go to sleep. No, I need to work. Work must be done. But secondly, I want the live stream to remain because I deleted the previous one thanks to Mentat. And you know, like I am exhausted, but I want to keep myself awake so I can go to sleep during the night again. I want to fix my sleeping schedule. Those in the know, like masks, screw, biometrics. Whatever. I'm not even touching that subject. Poland strong. I don't even think it's about immigrants. I think it's about people being scared. You know, in Romania, if you touch a woman in public, like okay, there was this case in New York, right? And it was recent. Apparently, like a woman got raped in a train. And the people stood by, and I'm thinking, how the fuck? Like, you do that in Romania, you're begging for the police to come just to pick the people that are beating your ass. Like people here in Eastern Europe don't tolerate that shit. But I guess like in these countries where people rely on the government, they don't do stuff. Like they're cowards. I don't know what else to say. It's like it's unacceptable. I just don't believe it. It's so weird. I thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. Will I be streaming at this time every day? I don't know if I can. I'll try, but probably not, because I'm trying to fix my sleeping schedule again. This is going to be a very interesting video, and I save it for my main channel. But apparently, if you guys understand, if you guys remember, there was a push to get more women into universities, right? Because not enough women go to university. Okay, fine. And then you had like 50-50. You had 50% women, and it was like, okay, can we stop trying to push women into university? No, keep going. So now you have a minority of men in universities, and they call it the golden penis syndrome because the men at the universities are picky. And they're acting like women now because they have a lot of choices. And they absolutely live it. It's like women on college are wary of dating There are fewer men enrolled in college than ever before, which means there's a tougher market for college females in heterosexual relationships. Men, therefore, are thinking of themselves as a hot commodity and are letting their ego drive their romantic lives. Oh my god. Oh, can you believe it? Men being picky? Like, who the fuck do they think they are? Oh yeah, I actually read this. Oh my god, I forgot. But you know what? I removed the previous stream, so it's fine. But it is interesting. It's like, who do they think they are? Why do they get to be picky? Like, don't you know if a woman wants to have sex, you're supposed to immediately say yes? Oh my god. Okay, let me know if you can hear this, because I'm really interested. I think this one is...
and Jaws and every movie that Steven Spielberg's ever made, and by the way, he's never made a...
Probably not, can you? See, I got two choices. I could either wake up my wife and put the speakers on, or if not, if I don't wake up my wife, I would have to plug my headphones, but that would probably take a while. Unless my headphones are already plugged in. Oh, you did? You can hear it? Oh, okay, you can hear it. Alright. Oh, people can hear it. Alright, if you can hear it, I'll play it. Because it's hilarious stuff.
went to Indiana Jones and Jaws and every movie that Steven Spielberg's ever made, and by the way, he's never made a movie with a female lead. Sorry, Steven. I don't mean to call your ass out, but it's true. The Color Purple, thank you. Okay, I'm wrong. He directed? Oh, so I'm right still. Okay.
These people. Oh my God. Oh, Dios mío. Yeah. You know what's interesting? It's like these people, they're so upset, right? They're so livid about what's happening that they don't even know the story. Like you would think if something upsets you, you would be able to articulate it properly and you would know exactly the problem. So for example, right? Things that upset me. I don't like the fact that the platforms, the social media platforms, don't apply their rules equally. And I can give you several examples off the top of my head if I'm pressured and I'm being asked to give some. Why can I do that? Because it genuinely upsets me. It's on my mind. You know, things that don't upset me. Racism in fishing. You know, like, I don't give a fuck about it. So, I guess, like, if you were to ask me about cases of racism in fishing, I wouldn't be able to know, because it's not my thing that I care. So when I see, like, someone that really, really is upset about something, some injustice, and that they can't articulate it, are they really that upset? Really that upset? You have zero through picture from space? Really? That can't be right. We probably do have pictures from space. Jaws was female. Oh my God, I'll use that, Billy. That is so true. Yes, Jaws is female. There you go. But not to mention, like, it's a moral obligation for men. It's like a duty now, right? It's like Call of Duty. Like, you have a duty to be drafted in the military, and you have a duty, if you're a director, to cast women in your films. Like, what the Love your streams. Just want to remind everyone that you can get legally with our products. Use V at checkout for 20% off. I feel used, but I like being used like this. I'm not going to complain. When will these people in Hollywood learn? When BlackRock stop giving them money, that's when they will learn. Until BlackRock gives them money, BlackRock gives you cock, then, well, they'll keep going. Honestly, I guess the BlackRock pays a lot better than the Soviets, because during the Soviet Union time, during the Cold War, the Soviets invested a lot of money in Hollywood, but you still had like leftist Hollywood shit, but you also had right-wing Hollywood stuff. So, by the by, do you know that North Korea is punishing people for spreading the anti-capitalist movie Squid Games? And people don't know why. Let me see if I can find it. So, Squid Game. North Korea. So, a North Korean man sentenced to death for smuggling Squid Game into the country, right? Horrible story. Kind of makes you glad you're an American, right? For now. I will tell you why they do this. Because Squid Game, they say it's an anti-capitalist movie. I don't think it's anti-capitalist. I mean, like if the author says something but fails to describe it in the movie, I don't see it. It's about wealth income disparity. That's what it is. And wealth income disparity exists in every system throughout that mankind has created. I mean, even in a tribal society, the chief and the village shaman get to have a better tent than other people. So spare me with this idea that only capitalism has income inequality. But like obviously it's an anti-capitalist thing, being promoted as an anti-capitalist movie. So why is North Korea against it? Well, for two reasons. Number one, it shows that the lifestyle in South Korea, even for the poorest people, is better than North Korea. So, for example, like the fact that you have electricity all the time, like, you get to see all the commercials in the street and all of that shit. Yeah, it looks a lot more appealing than North Korea. So that is one problem that you have there. In the movie, like, even the most poor and impoverished people still have a better life than. The second one is that it humanizes capitalists. And this is why Romania banned rock music. Especially like leftist rock music. They hated leftist rock music a lot more than rock music. Why? Because it showed that in America, like in the West, there are people with equal sentiments like the ones back home. And you couldn't have that. No, like the capitalists needed to be demonized as much as possible. There is absolutely nothing humane about them. So if you show that they have a song which praises like socialism and they want, like let's all get together and peace on earth and that bullshit, it humanizes them. So you can't have the people being sympathetic to the group that's being demonized. So that's why. Does Squid Game have any black people? I think it does have a brown person. Like it's got that Syrian guy, right? So I don't know if that counts. Reminds me of Locke. Beggars in England live better than savages. I do think that Americans don't know poverty. And when you say something like that, Americans get pissy. But think about it. Like, imagine a village in Africa where there's no water. And they have to deal with malaria. And they have to deal with all of these problems. Even the most poor person in the United States probably has it better than those people. So yeah, of course, like poverty is subjective in a way. Like you're always going to look at other people who have less than you and you're going to consider them poor. You're going to look at other people who have more than you and you're going to consider them rich. I guess it's just like having a different age, right? Like when you're a kid and you look at a 25-year-old, you're like, oh my God, he's a grown-ass adult. He's an old person, right? Like when you're 10 and you see a 25 person, it's like, oh, he's an old man. And when you're 20 and you see a 5-year-old, you're like, oh, okay, well, he's a kid. But it's like a 50-year difference, right? So when you're 40 and you see a person that's 35, that's 25, it's not like you're not going to say, well, he's a child. So these things are relative. But what I'm trying to say is that there is no relativity when you look at the poorest American. Like even a beggar in the street has it better than a poor person in Libya or a poor person in Africa. The system in Squid Game rewards risk. Yeah, but the risk is so high that only one person out of like 900 gets to make it. So, like the risk in Squid Game, I mean, for example, right? Um, like most of the games were kind of fair until you get to the bridge point. Like the bridge, like so if you want to risk at the bridge, and you're like, okay, I'm taking number one, right? Like that's the risk. Like I'm risking it. You're going to die. So the bridge thing, and not only that, it's like when people figure out like a system to look at the glass, they take that away. So no, like the Squid Game is not to mention like the game was designed for only one person to win. If you look at it, when there's three people remaining, like they're all given a knife, and only when one dies do they get into the other game, and like it's a 1v1 in the end, basically. So, what type of rock music was allowed in the USSR? None. There was no rock music. Like the genre of rock didn't exist. I think. People smuggled rock music and they listened to it, but you didn't have like the genre of rock. I think it was the same with Nazi Germany. They banned jazz music. They didn't appreciate, the black influences with jazz music. They also banned a lot of, obviously communist songs. I think like songs that were made by Jewish people, that they were banned in Nazi Germany. So yeah, I mean every type of authoritarian system tries to control the type of media that gets in. Movies aren't inclusive unless they include wheelchair-bound, crippled, Eskimo, genderqueer, trans person. I don't understand the idea of an inclusive movie. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Inclusivity in movies. What is that? Like, if I watch a movie, I want to watch the story. Like, for example, the best proof that people aren't racist is that Korean movies are number one on Netflix, right? They will say, oh, well, you don't like this movie because it's a black person in it. Okay, from what I can tell, there's not a single white person in Squid Game. And yet, it's one of the most viewed movies. Why? Because it's a good story. I grew up with Chinese films, and I didn't care that there wasn't white people in it. And by the way, like right now, there's a movie more popular than Squid Game, which is called Hellbound. I talked about it earlier. But it's interesting, right? So people get an angel that will tell them, hey, you're going to die in 30 days, and then you're going to end up in hell. And in 30 days, you have hell's executioners coming up and killing that person. So the movie isn't about like the supernatural entities, but it's like how humans react to that shit. Which, yeah, it would actually be an interesting question. Like, how would people react if, you end up seeing people on the streets that like get condemned to dying, and then you see like some demons coming up and killing them exactly when it was foretold. And obviously, like this would create a sect. It would create a religion. And that's what the TV show focuses on it. There's more options than capitalism and communism. Well, here's the thing, capitalism isn't defined, like the capitalists didn't define themselves as capitalists. It's a name that the communists gave them. It's like Karl Marx coins the idea of capitalism, right? Capitalism just means leaving people the fuck alone. That's what capitalism means. Like intervene in the economy as little as possible. Just leave people alone to do their stuff. And I don't think we have capitalist nations nowadays. As I mentioned before, almost every single nation on earth that's capitalist calls itself a mixed economy. Why? Because the welfare state, right? The welfare state is the state intervening in public life, in the free market. And if you have welfare state, then it's not a capitalist country. And you used to have countries without the welfare state. And I keep saying, before the welfare state, people just had children. So you had like 4 or 5 kids in order to make sure that they will take care of you when you're old. And right now, people just expect the government to take care of them. The UK used to have a warehouse full of women who read every piece of mail that came in or out of the country. Yeah, but I assume like that's during wartime. Like during wartime, the rules are changing, so it's not fair of a comparison. I went to the University of North Texas. I tried to understand the jazz. The jazz list mocked me. I think it was incomprehensible. What? Jazz is good, man. Like, jazz is really nice. Before the welfare state, there was voluntary charity. Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, if the government doesn't tax you, like, look, take my case, for instance, right? When I finish paying the mortgage for my house, I'll probably just try to buy a car, but then I don't need money. I mean, I need money to feed myself, but like every extra amount, yeah, I can give it to someone else. I can give it to my parents. I can help people. I can donate. I did some donations, but like I don't like talking about. I don't like bragging about it. But like I'm trying to say, when people have extra money, they donate. Yeah, they give to charity. It's normal. Right? But if the government taxes you 60 or 70% of what you're making, then there's almost nothing to give to charity. Plus, you usually think it's like, oh, why should I give to charity? Like, the government will fix it. Like, I'll just vote the left in power, and they're going to have welfare, and they're going to fix the problem. Oh yeah, speaking of charity, like that is so fascinating. The Salvation Army going woke. Like, you get lectured about the fact that you're a racist when you go to work. You get lectured on the fact that you're racist when you turn on the TV. You get lectured that you're a racist when you go on social media. I guess now even when you go to charity, you get to be lectured. That is such an accomplishment. I never thought that like giving money to charity means you also get the lecture in exchange. Usually people pay money to listen to Robin DiAngelo, but the Salvation Money gives it to you for free if you donate to charity. Remember Sam Hyde said that in 2036 there's no old people because we're just gonna kill them. That happened in 2020 during lockdown. He's a prophet. They're still old people, man. But yeah, like I lost my grandmother, and it was rough. Like it was sort of. She didn't die because of COVID. She died because of cancer, and they couldn't see her at the hospital because of the protocol. But whatever. And I couldn't see her either. So when they took her to the hospital, they had no phone there, and there was no way for me to contact her. And she probably died thinking that she's alone. But what can you do? It's very harsh, and I'm not the only person that went through this. You get lectured about racism at Sainsbury. Yeah, you get it everywhere. It's like you need to understand. Capitalists never said there shouldn't be a government to enforce fairness. The USA does not have that government right now. Yeah, I mean the way I understand is like it's like a football game. Like the market are the people playing the game, and the government is the referee. So the government just needs to make sure that the rules are being followed. It's not supposed to actively play into the game. They removed the respirators of all people and didn't give them proper treatment. I don't know. I haven't looked, and I don't want to comment on YouTube about things. I tend to avoid subjects where I can't, just say whatever I want because I'm afraid I might upset the TOS. So if that's the case, that's why I don't talk about them. Thank you, awesome lol. I appreciate it. Berlin is not into Trump. Well, who are you into, Berlin? Are you into Biden? We have another 5 years of this ahead of us mathematically. The death rates can only increase. I don't know how many years we have. We have as many years as it's going to take, I suppose. I'm not excited that it's going to go away anytime soon. It's going to go away when the mainstream media is going to notice that the ratings are dropping. So you're going to see Don Lemon popping a gasket over some new variant. Like he's going to get like a really thick jugular as he's angry and he's upset, and no one is going to watch him. Like the ratings are down, and that's when it's going to be over, when people stop giving a fuck. And you know, there is diminishing return. I mean, there have been times in human history where you had actual wars, and people just get used to it. I mean, you see bombs falling all over, and yes, it's very dangerous. But like, you know, like people on the front line, they've seen it for several months, and then they just go like, man, yeah, I mean, it's war, is dangerous, but what can you do? You know, we have to be here. And it's like, seriously, like read some stories from war veterans. Like that's what they say. And I was talking to a guy who was a Marine, and he was in Iraq, and he was telling me, it's like, so I had to fix these trucks, and it's like they started shelling us with mortars. It's like, what did you do? It's like, oh, nothing. I had to fix the trucks. And it's like, dude, but there were mortars around you. Yeah, but they're not very accurate. And I think like that's it. You know, it's like people just stop caring. It's like, okay. You said you wanted to see my bees a long time ago. I set up a live stream looking down on a hive to see what they do in winter. Send it to me on Twitter. I'll look into it. That sounds fun. Move to a private island, use blockchain, decentralized cloud service. That's where you can speak. Man, if I want to speak, I can just do it on IRC. I can use DMs. Like, I can speak, but the question is, like, how many people would listen? And secondly, it's like, I don't think I can say anything that people don't know already. I mean, I notice when I go to the store, which is across the street, and I see people talking at the store, I mean, there is literally nothing that I could say that they probably haven't heard by now. What do you think that are the most important things to focus when creating a fictional story? Well, it depends on the story, right? Like, what do you want to create? Do you want to create horror? Do you want to create science fiction? Do you want to create... one of the things that I believe every story needs, and what makes a story great, is having mystery. But it needs to be a mystery that is really well revealed. Like you need to give some clues to the reader about what the mystery is about, and the reveal of the mystery needs to be satisfying, right? So, for example, why is Attack on Titan so great? Well, the reason Attack on Titan is great is because you're curious what the fuck is beyond the wall. You know, who made the Titans? Like, you have these questions. Why is Game of Thrones good? Well, Game of Thrones is good because, like, oh, look, she got some dragon eggs. Like, are they actually going to hatch? Oh my god, they hatched. What is she going to do with them? What are the White Walkers? Where are they coming from? What are they planning? Right? So, I think, like, almost every single story that's very popular has some mystery in it. And this can be for horror. It can be for sci-fi. It can be for almost anything. Just have mystery in it and leave some clues for the reader. And the reveal should be very satisfying if, like, the reader should go, oh, the clues were there. Oh, like, all the time I knew. Oh, my God. The woke shit is coming more and more in Europe. We have woke shit in school, Sweden. Okay, I can explain. I'll tell you the thing with the woke shit. You can't reason people into not being woke. You just can't. Okay? Some people are woke because they're afraid and they know wokeness is bullshit, but they're not going to stop, right? Because they don't want to lose their jobs or whatever. Other people are woke because maybe they genuinely believe it. And you can force them to listen to as much Thomas Sowell as you want. It's not going to work. The only thing that's going to get people to stop is when things go bad. When things go bad, they're going to want things to be good again. Why do you think? Like, look at it. Okay, look at Sweden. The way they vote is very interesting. The Democratic Party in Sweden, I think, is the Nazi party, right? The people that received a lot of those news Swedes or whatever they call them, they're the ones that are voting for the quote-unquote Nazi party. People who live in other places that never experienced the enrichment and the multiculturalism, they keep voting left. So in other words, it's like when the problem starts going, and the problem is going to come eventually, like all these lockdowns, all of this fucking with the economy is going to get the gas prices to explode, is going to get, like things going really bad. All these crackdowns on human rights is going to make people upset because they're used to having liberty and now they're not. And only then will those people stop being woke. Now, when people stop being woke, I don't know what will happen. I have no idea. I think never in human history have we witnessed the technology to control so many people. Like, for example, the idea that a bank can just shut down your account. The idea that the police can have access to all of your private information. And, like even the communists wouldn't have access to as much data as it's available on social media now. So I don't know. I really don't know like how it will be. I mean, China is very capable of controlling its population. So they've been doing it for what like several decades now. So I don't know. But what I do know is that the only way to stop someone from being woke is to make them answer answer the question, who hurt you? Because at one point, when something is going to hurt them, whether it is the high gas prices, whether it is the fact that they can't have a job, whether it is the fact that someone is mugging them on the street, when that happens, that's when they stop being woke. Were you shocked when you saw Black Pigeon Speaks face reveal? I actually knew how Black Pigeon Speaks looks like from years ago. I think it was 3, maybe 4 years ago. He showed me a picture with him. So I actually knew how BPS looked like. I was, well, I still am actually. I'm in a very good relation with Black Pigeon Speaks. The only unfortunate thing is that I used to contact him on Skype and he doesn't join Skype anymore. So I can't contact him. But I was in very good graces with him. Like, I like him. He even invited me to Japan. Told me that if I go to Japan, I can go at his house. So we're good buddies. But unfortunately, I am unable to talk with him because he doesn't join Skype anymore. I've been saying that modern governments are revolt-proof due to surveillance apparatus. Yeah, but see, like, this is the thing. You don't have to be violent in order to upset a government. There are many other ways that Eastern Europeans know very well. Just passive aggressiveness, non-compliance, that type of thing works magic. I mean, we discovered and perfected the art during communism, during socialism. And, many recent governments figured it out as well, but it is what it is. Shooting full semi-automatic. You know what I thought what a full semi-automatic looks like? And I think it's a shotgun. Because it doesn't fire one bullet, it fires many bullets. And it's like an automatic, like it fires as many as an automatic, but it's like you need to pull the trigger every time. So I think it's like a shotgun with pellets. Hey, Mayuri, how's it going? Berlin wants to tell us about a system. What is the political system that you suggest, Berlin? Let's analyze Berlin's system. Jesus work on Sundays even though Rabbi said it's against the law. I don't think it's unrestricted capitalism that leads to problems. I think it's just people realizing that they can vote themselves free shit. That's what created problems. Alright, because at that point it's not capitalism. So people voting for themselves free shit is the main issue. Why do people say Jesus is not a Jew? Didn't you have like Jesus, King of the Jews, like written on his cross or something? I'm waiting for Berlin to tell me about the system. Still curious about the system. A system that's better. Which system is better? Oh my God, I see. Yeah, if Jesus was a Jew, why did he have a Mexican name? Oh my God, that is such a good joke. I'll steal it. It's not an issue until you run out of people money. It's a Ponzi scheme, isn't it? Like you need to have more new people born into the system than there's old people. And when the government runs out of money, it brings immigrants because it needs to have more money to pay for the welfare. Ah, yes, the National Socialist Deutsche Arbeit. Doesn't China have that? I mean, sure, like China, you can consider it being a superpower, but would you like being a Uyghur in China? Do you think Chinese, or at least the overwhelming majority of them, are happy in that system? I mean, maybe they are, but you're not going to know because they're banned from social media, so they can't tell you. Haha. But yeah, I think if you look at the NSDAP, like Berlin likes to say it, China kind of has it. I mean, it's pretty much similar from an economic point of view. Um, from an ideological point of view, probably not so much. I mean, it does have some overlaps. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I would definitely think if Germany won World War II, it would be more like the China right now. I don't know. I mean, if you say Jesus was a Jewish, I think Catholic priests disagree with you. I think Orthodox priests disagree with you. Evangelicals disagree with you. You might find some Christian denomination that agrees. I'm not saying that that's not true, but like from what I can tell, most Christian denominations wouldn't agree. Jesus' comment was supposed to be protesting with nonviolence. Jesus didn't protest with nonviolence. I remember Jesus getting a whip and started smacking merchants in the temple, and I think that would be anti-Semitic, and that would be a violations of terms of service, and it would be manifestable behavior, observable behavior, and he would be banned from Patreon and probably other platforms. Halloween in Australia being celebrated in October is offensive. Australia is in the southern hemisphere. I don't know exact the date because it ain't October. Do you have Halloween in Australia? We're starting to have Halloween in Romania. It's actually pretty cool. We don't have trick or treat yet, which from what I understand is good because people egg your house and throw toilet paper on it if you don't give them candy. So I'm glad. But they have like Halloween parties and stuff. I get it's not difficult to imagine, but there were always not brown people in the Middle East. I never said that Jesus was brown or not. I don't think it's ever described in the Bible, but I don't think there is. I said like neither Orthodox nor Catholicism nor evangelicalism, like the major Christian branches, would agree with you that Jesus was not Jewish. Um, But hey, if you have a different interpretation of the Bible, like feel free to start a cult or something. I don't think it would be heretical actually if you just change. Well, actually, it may be because there's like the fulfilling of the prophecy, and I think it's like there's like a whole list of names, like the people that gave birth before you get to Jesus. Have you seen The Life of Brian? Can you review it? No, I haven't, unfortunately. The answer, if people ask me, have you seen X or have you played Y, is probably no. I don't really have that much time. I already make like 2 live stream and 4 videos per day. When do you think I have time to watch stuff? He said what system, Craig? He said that Nazism, right? The National Socialist Deutsche Arbeit Party is his favorite system. Uh, was Jesus a Christian? Well, like I really don't know. I think yes, right? Because Christianity means Christ, right? So it's the religion of Christ. Um, I think you would consider him the first Christian, actually, right? But Christianity is like what comes after Christ, so it's kind of weird. I need to ask a priest about it. I'll actually ask an Orthodox priest if Jesus was a Christian. I think the answer is yes. He would probably be considered the first Christian. Halloween has been celebrated in Australia for donkey years, but only because the U.S. cultural export. Well, like that's how it works, right? I mean, Halloween started in Ireland, if I'm not mistaken. It was an Irish tradition, and the Irish brought it to the United States, and it was so popular that more and more people started adopting it, and eventually Hollywood exported it throughout the world. So yeah, I mean, Hollywood is an Irish tradition at its roots. But unfortunately, it got commercialized like everything else. Who the Germans had no taxes? I don't know if Nazi Germany had no taxes, but what I do know is that a lot of European countries before World War One had incredibly low taxes because there was no welfare state almost anywhere. The idea of the welfare state started after, well, actually, I think a little bit before World War One, but mostly after World War Two. And the welfare state is what fucked up everything. It's something that I don't think is ever going to go away, actually, but it is what it is. Yeah, I know he was Jewish, and I don't even know why people are arguing about it. Before the war, Germany was doing really well. Well, I'm not going to go right now into shrinking markets theory and explain what was wrong with it, because I'm planning to end the stream in 3 minutes. Hollywood is very Irish. No, but like you have Hollywood movies which show the Halloween tradition, right? And people saw them and they were like, "Oh my god, that is so cool! Why can't we have that here?" Do we have to do Halloween at a time that makes no sense for the part of the world we are in? This isn't like St. Patrick's Day. Man, just do the thing and shut the fuck up. Why are you complaining about a holiday that makes me jealous because we don't have it here properly? Just do the thing. Doesn't matter when you do it, just do it. Yeah, I get the thing, like Jesus died suicide by cop. It wasn't cop though, it was a soldier. I don't even think they had police. Like, can you believe it? There was a time when there was no police. I mean, sure, you had like the city guard or the night watch or whatever they called it. But usually, like, people would defend themselves. Like, you'd have your family and you'd know your neighbor, and if something bad happened, you would just defend yourself. Um, but mostly, like, you have very tight communities, like very small villages. Like, even in Romania right now, you have some villages in the mountains that are very medieval like. And by medieval, I mean in mentality. So what happens if you go into one of these villages and people don't know who you are? They immediately start asking you, like, who do you belong to? As in, like, whose family are you at? Like people immediately start interrogating you just by being there. Like, what are you doing here? Who are you, right? Because everyone knows each other. Everyone knows who everyone else is. And that's how they keep their community safe. Now, don't think that they're not welcoming people. They are, but like the moment they see you, they will start talking to you and just ask you, like, why are you there? What are you doing? You know, how long you're planning to stay. So they don't really if a new person comes into the village, almost everyone will instantly know, and they will know where he's staying. They will know, like, what is there and how long. Big less gangs, great big less beings. Night V, good one. You refuse to do the thing. I see. You need to do the thing, Sammy. Well, it's like breaking into homes and do what? I mean, it's like just so you know, like what I'm talking about, right? Um, let me show you guys. So we're talking about like incredibly simple folk, right? And it looks kind of like this. It's like breaking to someone. Like, do what? No one, no, like it's probably why they have low crime rate is because they don't. I mean, they have very simple lives. There's nothing that's um going to tempt someone to break in and steal. Yeah, like look. Ugh. Almost everyone has chickens, by the way. I mean, it's inconceivable for these people to not get chickens. And it's always chickens. It's never something else. It's just chickens. They're not ducks. No. Not geese. Not turkey. No, chickens. Thoughts on Elden Ring? It's going to be funny. It's going to be entertaining. Still the cutlery. It's probably like cutlery that they had since their grandparents existed. So it's like 20-year-old cutlery. Like, why would you even want that? It is inconceivable. Like, I see these people, right? And they take a house next to the city because they want to move out. And the first thing they do is they buy chickens. I swear to God, like, there was this neighbor that I wanted to have a talk to. He moved next to my apartment building. It was like RV type of thing, not an RV. What a trailer, right? So he moved next to a trailer. he was from the countryside. First thing he did was he bought chickens, and it was so annoying because the rooster would cock a doodle. But you know, like neighbors didn't say anything. But it's like just go to the supermarket and get your chicken. Like what the fuck? Does Tim Pool have chickens? I have no idea. Chickens provide food year round, and when they get old, they keep providing food. Yeah, but like the price of a chicken is really low right now. I mean, you can get, I think, like a whole chicken in Romania with $10. No, even cheaper. I think it's like $5. Yeah, it's around $5 a chick. Let me check how much is a chicken. Actually, I'm curious. I guess I need to differentiate between Echo chicken and just your average Bish chicken. Okay, so 2 kilograms of chicken is $4. Okay, so for $4 you get the chicken, and I'm like, it just what isn't it more expensive to raise them? I mean, you have to feed them, and it's probably more expensive. Why not just buy the chicken? God damn it! It's got like someone pumped it full of hormones to make it big. Just get the chicken. Get the chicken. You know, it's actually interesting. It actually tastes different. Like when my wife brings a chicken from her parents, because they're at the countryside. It tastes really different, right? Like free range chicken. And when they say free range, I mean like they have the whole yard to run. So they have a really, really different taste than just the chicken that you get from the slaughterhouse. A whole chicken costs $16 in Australia. Oh my god, that actually frightens me because I know inflation is coming. What did my father-in-law do with the chicken? It raised it. And then it sacrificed it to the moon god. Anyway, Thank you guys for being here. I'll not delete this stream. I hope you had some entertaining. I'm really tired. I'm sorry if I'm not more animated. But yeah. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the super